Wait right there, I have a magic deck to show you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Ziatora the Incinerator. If you do not know him, you damn well should. He's a flying 6/6 for 6 mana in black, red, and green. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, Ziatora the Incinerator deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. Now, I know the most powerful way to play him is to get your own big creatures and fucking just sack those and then bring them back and do all that. It gives Ziatora lifelink so that you get 18 or 20 life out of it every end step, but this one's a little different. Now, before I show you all the creatures, I want to show you Bramble Sovereign, because it's just good in general. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 green. That's any creature. That can be anyone else's creatures too. If you do, that creature's controller creates a token that's a copy of that creature. So, whenever a non-token creature enters, you can pay 1 green. If you do, the creature's controller makes a token that's a copy of it. Pretty damn good. Now, you compare that with a lot of these cards. So, because Ziatora makes 3 treasure tokens at your end step when you sacrifice a creature, you also have the damage on top. But I kind of wanted to go token strategy with this as well. Like a treasure strategy, I mean. So I have Bootlegger's Stash, lands you control, have tap, create a treasure token. This is insanely good. I don't know why it's so cheap. This was under $5, so yeah. It's broken because all your lands you can just tap them for treasure tokens instead of mana, and then you can still tap the treasure tokens for mana that same turn. And if you have cards like where is it? And if you have cards like Zorn, where when you make treasure tokens, you create that many +1 instead. Every land that you tap, you're tapping for 2 essentially. 2 of any color. It's insane. And then we have Gold Vein Hydra, which can get pretty big. You can cast them for pretty big, and then that'll be even better with Ziatora. So make 3 treasure tokens from Ziatora, do however much damage equal to his size, and create that many treasure tokens. +1 with Zorn, but yet again, you can also use Bramble Sovereign to copy Zorn and have 2 of him. We also have Academy Manufactor. So whenever you make all of these treasure tokens, which is at least 3 per turn, you're also going to make clues and foods. So you can sprinkle in a little bit of life gain in there. You can also, and some card draw with the clues. And you can also spend those treasure tokens on sacrificing the clue and food. It's perfect. And not only that, I also put in Magda the Horde Master. Whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Committing a crime, I believe, is targeting something an opponent controls, I think. So, yeah, Ziatora does that when you deal damage to any target with him. So you're going to make more treasures from that, and you can sacrifice 3 treasures, create a 4/4 red Scorpion Dragon creature token with flying and haste. Activate only as a sorcery. Notice how it doesn't say exile it at the beginning of the next end step or anything like that. No, you keep that fucking 4/4 red Scorpion Dragon. You keep it. It's only sacrificed 3 treasures for a 4/4. So we're getting 3 treasures damn near every turn. And if you have Zorn and Magda and Gold Vein Hydra and all this, I mean, you're going to get a lot more treasure than you think. And you don't have to tap her. You can just do it multiple times. So if you have 9 treasures, you can do that 3 times. Instant speed. And we also have Kellogg Dangerous Mind. First strike, haste 3/2. Whenever he attacks, create a treasure token. Boom, there's more treasure. But here's why I put him in. Sacrifice 5 treasures, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Kellogg. So, this is not only a little bit of token strategy sprinkled in, it's also a thieving strategy, taking other people's shit, and then sacrificing those instead of your own creatures, which is just funny in my book. So yeah. And then we have Mahadi Emporium Master. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. Since this is low-key a sacrifice deck, that's fine. And Bramble Sovereign, whenever you make tokens with her copy tokens, that's fine. And then you can still keep the original and just sacrifice the other. So she's perfect for this. And then as far as thieving go, I have a lot more in here. I also have Gadrak the Crown Scourge for a little bit more treasure and a flyer. Flying is always nice. But as far as thieving goes, we have Brainstealer Dragon. So, beginning of your end step, exile the top card of each opponent's library. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. So, and you can use mana of any color to cast it. Whenever a non-land permanent an opponent controls, an opponent owns, enters the battlefield under your control, they lose life equal to its mana value. Fucking huge. Like, if you cast a 6 mana spell of someone else's, they are losing 6 life. That is big. And not only that, beginning of your end step, say that 6 mana thing is a 6/6 creature, right? Then, Ziatora the Incinerator, at your end step, you can sacrifice it, and then deal 6 damage to them again, and then create value with 3 treasure tokens, if not more with Zorn and copies of Zorn. Yeah, it's big. And then Elder Brain, whenever Elder Brain attacks a player, exile all cards from that player's hand, then they draw that many cards. They basically wheel their hand. You may play lands and cast spells from among the exiled cards for as long as they remain exiled. What's good about this is normally the stuff they want to play is in their hand, and they want to play it next turn. Normally people have a plan, people have a plan. This fucks up those plans. And then it gives them to you. It gives you their cards. Say someone's holding on to some counter spells or onto, some removal. Because people do that. You can hold on to removal in your hand until you absolutely need it. Well, yeah, you just take control of their hand, and then you give them a new hand, and then you play that hand as a second hand. It's fucking great. We have Dream Thief's Bandana, an equipment that also does some tomfoolery and steals other people's shit. Equip creature deals combat damage to a player. Look at the top card of their library, exile it. You may just play mana of any color to play those. Yeah. Lord of the Void. Funny thing, the last game I played with this deck, I have a Reanimate in this deck, and I reanimated him turn 2. I played a full 4-player commander game, had him and Reanimate and a Swamp in my starting hand, right? My first turn, I didn't play a land, so I just drew and I discarded Lord of the Void. So then turn 2, I reanimated, and then, I reanimated Lord of the Void, lost 7 life, but it's worth it because he's a 7/7 flyer that he got on turn 2, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 7 cards of that player's library, then put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield under your control. So, not only did I get him out turn 2, a flying 7/7, but turn 3 when he's able to attack, I'm also exiling the top 7 cards of someone's deck and then dealing 7 damage to them and stealing their creatures and getting more creatures on the field. He's fucking broken. And then when I have Ziatora out, I can then sacrifice those creatures and get value out of them while keeping my own. And I also have Atali Primal Storm. This one's also good to do the same exact thing with, if you can reanimate him. I do have quite a few reanimate strategies in this deck too. I have Victimize and stuff like that. Whenever Atali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. What's cool about this is you don't have to pay the mana costs, right? And what's also cool about this is it's on attack. he doesn't have to deal combat damage to a player. It's a little bit less of a prerequisite to get its trigger off. We also just have some big bad creatures like Yargle and Multani, which is an 18-6 for 6 mana. Yeah, it's... wow. And with Ziatora, end step, yeah, sacrifice this guy, deal 18 damage to any target. That's damn near half of someone's health right off the rip. This is a fun deck, I will say. This is a very, very fun deck. I got some stuff in here that makes me draw cards whenever I... there it is. Yeah. Whenever Corvold Fakris King enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on him and draw a card. This is mostly good for the card draw. I love this for the card draw. I got some other card draw stuff in here, but there's the clues, there's this guy, there's actually quite a bit in here, but for the most part, you don't really need card draw when you're just taking other people's shit and then you can play those. The last game I played, I had a stack of like 20 plus cards in exile for me to play from. It's real fun. I highly recommend that you give something like this a shot. If you want a deck list, let me know. I can probably whip one up for you. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you next time for some more shit. Oh yeah, 3 mana, sacrifice a creature, draw a card. See, there's one.